Hello, welcome to another busy weekend of racing action here on the Punters Guide. Joel, Ross and Frankie Foster, as always, join me. Joel from his living room, Frankie from the car at Exeter, ahead of where he was for the Alden Gold Cup this afternoon. But we're looking forward to Aintree, Wincanton Down Royal on Saturday. And we're going to start on Merseyside, Joel, home from home. For you and I, have been there many a times, of course. Over the national fences for the first time this year. We've got a Pertemps qualifier at 101. I think it's the third one this week. 8 runners go to post. Lisdegard Oscar, former Stays hurdle hero, in here. David Pipe, Paul Nichols represented as well, with some likely types.
Yeah, can we stay away from them, La? Johnson's Blue. This is the win course here. Johnson's Blue for Mark Walford, 5-year-old. One of his last 4. All right, it's Hexham and Cartmel. Pulled out of Cartmel last time. This is the target. It's not just a trainer's day out. It's not an owner's day out. It's not a jockey's day out. Johnson's Blue in the 101 at Aintree. We've had the 4.
Well, you have had horses in that stable, haven't you?
Yeah. Do you know what? Absolutely fantastic. Now, you think about this. Mark Walford trained a horse for me. We won 6 times with it. And the good thing about it is you're always getting a prize. He's a very competent trainer, very, very good lad as well. But you can get one ready as well. And bearing in mind, like I say, won the last 4. That last race, I think it was like 9.5, 10 lengths. Couldn't have won any easier. Racing cliche for you. But yeah, 101. Let's get us off to a good start. And I reckon it's a good price as well. What is it, about 8-1, something like that?
Well, yeah, well, it is in a minute. Yeah, nice start. We'll move on to the Grand Sefton, the first race this season, Grand National fences. Before we do that, though, Joel, Al Dancer's in here. Sam Thomas train. News this week, of course, about the helicopter incident. Di Walters sadly in hospital, but all looks okay. He's conscious and he's talking. I know you've been in touch with Sam Thomas. What's the latest?
Yeah, look, I've known Sam for 20 years, and we have a laugh. I mean, I stayed on his sofa when the day after Denman won the the Gold Cup, and he had to go to Utox the next day. So we always have a laugh. So I'll read the text message that I sent him yesterday. I said, "Hello, love, checking in on you, making sure you're okay and you're not frigging dead." He got back straight away saying, "Counting my chickens, very lucky to be alive. Thanks, Mucker. Kiss, kiss." So there we are, and Thought's got to die as well, who's a little bit worse. But I think from what I can read this morning, it's he's conscious, and it's we'll move on from that. But yeah, Sam's okay. So I think Frankie fancies Al Dancer. So Sam can make his.
Yeah, I mean, to second that, Thoughts go out to them all. But like you said, I do fancy Al Dancer, and coincidentally, we've started off as a bit of a Sam Thomas fan club, haven't we? With Our Power last week. Before midnight placed as well, so two horses there that did well in handicaps, and I fancy Al Dancer to do similar and go close again. They've only had this horse a couple of years, and it's been steadily progressing. They've tried it a few different trips, tried over 3 miles a few times. I think this is the trip for this horse. I think it will go well over. I think it's 2-5 here. Last seen behind Le Law, who seemed ready for that day, got the running. Went from the front on good ground, everything went in its favourite, and was still real close to Laylor and 11 lengths clear of third. I think there's a bit more to come from Al Dancer, and we haven't yet seen it. So the handicap mark, there's probably a little bit of wiggle room there.
Al Dancer then for Frankie. Senior sittings only pound either in second last year. Giacomo has been a bit of a gamble this week. 2 for gold went well for a long way in the national. Are you sticking with the Sam Thomas fan club, Joel, or anything else you like in the Grand Sefton?
No, I'm avoiding the old mucker this time. I'm going with Senior Citizen for Alan King and Adrian Heskin. Like you say, beating the length in this last year. It was beaten by McTotty, wasn't it? Who did that win the Topham as well? Was it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It was one of Bowen's, isn't it? They mop up in the races.
Yeah, too right. One first time out last 3 seasons is a note I've made. Senior Citizen, very strong for me this year. So avoiding Sam Thomas, and it's all about the Senior Citizen after me.
Yeah, I think he's got a huge chance as well. Move on to the 245. I'll stay with you, Joel. Brewing up a storm in here for Sean Bowen, Ollie Murphy, trying to retain his title. Of course, won this race last year. Takes on the Skeltons, Langadan, Dashel Drasher in here as well, better known as a chaser, of course. Only the 4 go. Will Brewing Up a Storm retain his crown?
Yeah, I looked at this for a very long time. Now, first of all, Dashel Drasher, I think the lines through that straight away is going to need the run. Trainer's not started kicking in yet, and we'll go back over fences. Now, Langadan, that Taunton race, the the one that everyone remembers, where he trebled in price. He sat out the back, and it was given. Look, I don't mind saying it because you can. Yeah, no, it's not considerate. It was not put into that race at any point. Beating 25 lengths or whatever it was, and then it went in everybody's tracker. The biggest gamble of the year for the Martin Pipe at 7-2. Everybody was on. Everybody's nap gets brought down, but then got our money back at Aintree. So I'm putting a line through that. I think we're going to Cheltenham again with that one. Brewing up a storm. Now, I've spoken to a few mates about this, and we're very 50-50 on it. Some people think no, some people think yes. Won this last year by 9 lengths, has had a wind up. This is the target, because what do you do with this horse? There's nothing else to do with it. Where it's not Cheltenham horse, what would you do with it? Brewing up a storm now, for me, is a very strong bet, because I can put a line through the other 3. That's my opinion, and I think it's a very strong bet this weekend.
Frankie, do you concur?
I agree. Yeah, on all fronts, to be honest. Langadan's the handicap horse, as Joel said. That we all followed that same route, from the soft ride to the Cheltenham mishap to getting our money back at Aintree. Everyone did the same, and it worked out. But Langadan is a handicapper and was going to win a race because of his handicap mark, not because of the same quality of Brewing Up a Storm. And I totally agree. Again, this will be the target, because Brewing Up a Storm is not top class, but he's good enough to go and win races like this. So these races are what they'll want him to be winning. So yeah, I'm on exactly the same page. I think Brewing Up a Storm's a great bet.
And he's trying to turn Langadan into a potential stayers hurdle hope as well, isn't he? Right, we're going to move to Wincanton then, and this is the Rising Stars and Novices Chase, the 115. For me, and I'll see what you guys think, if there's one favourite vulnerable this week, it has to be McFabulous. I know Paul Nicholls got a good record in the race, won 4 the last 9, but he's short enough, around about 11-10, 5-4-ish, on chasing debut in a Grade 2. I know Nicholls is winning with everything at the minute, Joel, but he's never jumped a fence in public. And he's 8 years old. It's quite late in the day to be going chasing.
It is, but Nicholls is, time recording about 41, 42%. I mean, when Nicholls is in form, you've got to back him. And when he's out of form, you just do not touch him. It's going to be so exciting over fences. Top class. I genuinely think, and I love being, it's all about opinions, isn't it? I think this horse makes all and wins. Was it second favourite that can't jump? Third favourite, had a shocker last time. I got this right down to it's really boring. To me, I wouldn't be backing it. I wouldn't back it at that price. But when you look, I think it makes all, it wins if it can jump a fence. I think it's top class. It'll be the best horse in the race by a very long way. But there's better 11-10, even money shots over the weekend. But if you give me a tenner, I'd be on it.
He is the best earner in the race. Frankie, does he win the Rising Stars, McFabulous?
It's frustrating, this one. I should have said before, talking about Brewing Up a Storm, I get very boring from this point onward. I'm not offering much value across the weekend. Joel's in the same boat, thankfully. We can both go down that road together. It's just so frustrating. It's short, isn't it, for chasing debut? But you look through the rest of the field and you're trying to find the same sort of class of horse, and it's hard to do. And I personally would rather side on the fact that he might jump a fence, and I can know for sure that his engine is better and he's a better class horse than the rest in there. I'd be taking that gamble over thinking, is his jumping gonna get him unstuck? It's too short for a bet, but if I'm pushed for an opinion, I'm going to stick with the favourite. And Nicholls' form probably sways me slightly as well.
Okay, it's McFabulous, and I am against him on Saturday, and I'm quite happy at the prices to take him on as well. Right, a proper contest, a big staying handicap chase. So probably the first one of the season is the Badger Beer. In 2020, we had El Presente beating Potterman. In 2021, we had Rocco beating Potterman. All 3 lined up again. Added interest, though, courtesy of Froden in here. We know what he's going to do. Go from the front. Can they catch him, Joel?
Well, you look at Froden, again, it comes down to the Nicholls way of thinking. What's Froden now? 10, coming up 11. Not going to Ireland because of the ground, but they were going for a Grade 1 first time out. So you think about this. So it's going to be fit. And again, this is what I never get, this handicapping system. So he's off 158, gets dropped £6 for that run in the Ultima. So you go all the way to Ireland, or you come here. You know what, like you said, you know what Bryony's going to do. Try and make all, will be fit, brilliant jumper. Bryony gets out, on the front end, gets into a rhythm. It's going to cause problems behind. And I think it's really strong. It's the only horse so far that I have backed this weekend. I backed it at 5-1. I believe it's 4-1, 9-2 at time of recording. Lord Accord is that. Lord Accord is that improving 7-year-old. Won at Cheltenham 2 weeks ago. And apart from that, it depends how you want to pronounce it as well. In Rillo or in Rayo, if you're French. You look at the bare form figures on that. It looks like a private plate that Frankie would have, which is FP 4P. I genuinely think Frodon it's a gift from the gods. If you can get 4 or 5-1, because you know what's going to happen. 10-year-old, but getting that rhythm with Bryony, and you're on to a winner.
There we are, then. Frodon for Joel. Frankie, you're Frodon, you're Captain Ord for your mate Christian Williams in here as well. Has Paul Nicholls put Frodon to keep the weights down for Rillo?
Well, I had a look at this a bit further out before Frodon was entered, and Rillo was my fancy. I'm going there on Saturday, so, and then everyone kind of talks about it, and I thought I'm going to try and pick out a winner. And Rillo has a bit of a swing in the weights with both Potterman and Christian's Captain Ord. And I think Paul will be very happy to see that horse in off a 143, which is why I'm now absolutely stumped that he's just Frodon in, because I think he had a really, really strong chance. And now I'm not sure what he's thinking. I guess they couldn't go to Ireland and he'd rather just have 2 in here because he likes winning this race. If I could have a bet on Paul Nicholls to win the Badger, then I take that, because I really do think it's between his pair. The even more frustrating thing is, as Joel said, Frodon going from the front can just cause havoc in behind and can really kind of make some horses come unstuck. But I'm gonna stick with my original selection. I think Enrillo is well weighted. I think can have the better of Christians and Potterman, who've previously beat him. And if I was to play a saver, it would be the forecast. Bryony to go and beat Enrillo on Frodon.
There we are, then. It could be a Paul Nicholls benefit. You said he is on absolute fire and he could win the elite hurdle as well at 3 o'clock. He's got Nappers Hill. We're quite impressive at Chepstow, form that looks pretty solid as well, taking on Score Royal. He got his win on the board already at Kempton this season. Milwood and Knight Salute, though, no back numbers. Only the 4, quality over quantity, Joel.
Yeah, I think Knight Salute, bit to prove. Nappers Hill is the improver. Score Royal. Am I right in thinking it's 2016, 2020, 2021? You know how this is, everybody loves this horse. I mean, I say that as a sweeping statement. There'll be people that really don't like it. 10-year-old now, it's still got the turn of foot. You know what's going to happen here. It's going to be 2 out, and I think that Daryl Jacobs going to be sitting up thinking he's Jamie Spencer. 2 out, and arse in the air. 2 out, turn of foot. It's a beautiful horse. 2016, 2020, 2021, and now 2022. It's a really boring selection, but I really do think I think this will go off really short this weekend as well. And I say Nappers Hill, the improver. Knight Salute, bit to prove after getting smashed by Pied Piper.
Yeah, and Score Royal to give weight and a beating. Frankie, do you agree?
Yeah, you talk about horses that everyone likes, Joel. I think I'd probably get away with this because I've got Nicholls down to win the foot. Well, Fabulous to win, and then a forecast in the budget. Nappers Hill, I just cannot get on with this horse. I don't know whether it must have cost me a few quid in the past, but I really do think Nappers Hill has always been overhyped. And I can never put it up, and I don't think it beats Score Royal, and I'm in the same camp. It was a formality at Kempton last time for Score Royal. He did the same last year, exactly the same route, won that race at Kempton, then came here and won, and I think he just does exactly the same again. You look at last year, and then you compare what he did at Kempton this year. He doesn't seem to have gone backwards or slowed down for age. He looks the same horse, and nothing new or better has come in this year. There's no horse that's coming here for me anyway that I've gone, ooh, that might that might cause a problem. Maybe Nappers Hill for some, but as I said, I'm I'm against Nappers Hill. So yeah, I think it's a strong bet. I think there's some strong favourites this weekend.
I think last weekend we're putting value in there, and you can be those value seekers where you have a look at something and something that's even money, 11 to 10, 11 to 8, 6 to 1 the field, and you're going, if you keep it simple, sometimes it works. And
yeah, if I've got no problem putting a shorty up if I think it's going to win.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for. I'm trying to get the first past the post, and there are some shorties this weekend, but you can play a few multiples, a few tricksies, bets like that. I think are well worth a shot across multiple cards. There are going to be some strong favourites that do go in.
Well, Wincanton's gained his Down Royal's loss regards Froden, of course. We've got the champion chase over in Northern Ireland. I mean, we're just going to go with Galvin, boys, and keep it simple and carry on being boring. Oh, it's a shake of the head.
Here he goes. A nod of the head.
All right, come on then, a shake of the head. So we're against Galvin. Got Conflated, Kenboy, Envoy Allen. Can he bounce back? He's in the King George.
You can't be going Envoy Allen. That's taking it too far.
That's fine. That's right. You know what's going to happen, don't you? It's going to be 2:37, and the number one trend in the world is going to be Envoy Alain. 25 lengths. Right. First of all, you look at that horse. What trip does it want? What ride? What ride do you give it? I think it's only been tested over 3 miles once and didn't come back with a hairline fracture to the pelvis or something. I've no idea, so I put a line through that. Kenboy will probably fit, but I don't like the way it jumps. Galvin needs 6 miles. Do you know what? I think it will come down to looking at the betting on the day. So Gordon's got your top 2 in there. Galvin with a short price favourite. I don't know who gets the choice, Davey or Jack, who rides what, but Davey's riding Galvin. If Galvin's fit, Galvin wins. It's a bit like the Pied Piper Night Salute thing. Conflated is the better horse, and if Conflated is fit, I think it ticks every single box.
I think.
But I think you have a look through 2 or 3 minutes before the race, and whichever one is favourite will win. At the prices now, if you're giving me the bet, I will just go for Conflated. Hasn't had the run like Galvin has, but it is the best horse. And sometimes I think Galvin's has a bit of a lack of pace, if you know what I mean. I just Conflated. Go for it. Conflated.
You're taking them splinters out your backside now. Frankie, I take it you think it's going to be Gordon Elliott as well, but which one?
Galvin for me. I'd agree. Not on that. I don't think Conflated's a better horse. I think that's a massive shout. I'm a big Galvin fan. I think Galvin's a better horse, but you mentioned for a second there the Night Salute Pied Piper. We were talking tactics, weren't we? Conflated can kick. We saw it. Was it? I always get these two confused. Is it Punchestown Gold Cup? Or I can't remember whether it's Leopardstown.
Yeah, the Irish one, Leopardstown.
Leopardstown, sorry, Leopardstown. Yeah. And Davy Road Conflated that day, and he managed to come around the bend and kick, and nothing caught him. And I do have that worry because, like you said Galvin needs 6 miles. He's a little bit slower. But Davy's riding Galvin.
Stop pony, Mark.
He knows both horses very well. For me, that would be a slight vote of confidence, maybe. So I'm going to stick with Galvin, and I think Galvin is the better horse, the better 3 miler, but I would be worried of tactics and that little bit of pace that Conflated has in comparison to Galvin. But once again, I am, you call me favourite Frankie this weekend. There's enough gone in there. But yeah, Galvin for me.
It is. Loads of Frankie favourites. Galvin has had a run as well, by the way, so obviously you will be fit, you would imagine. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll start with you, Frankie. Best bet of the weekend. We've covered 7 of the ITV races. Is it in there? Would you like Joel and go for something in Germany or something like he normally does?
To be fair, you did have a winner, didn't you, last week, Joel?
Yeah, I did have a winner. And it was Sunday. There was no prices up there, and I was watching it, and it drifted out to 11 to 8 and hacked up in it's a bag and spoon race on Ireland. But fair play.
A winner's a winner. Frankie, what was the strongest bet? One of your favourites?
Yeah, well, there's a couple, isn't there, that are nearly even money. Brewing Up a Storm, Galvin, So Royale. I think out of the ones we've been chatting through, I think Brewing Up a Storm. I'll go back to that point of Langadan, in my opinion, being a a handicapper last year, and Brewing Up a Storm really should be winning these sorts of races. And if you can get anything above evens, for me, I think that's a decent bet.
Yeah, it's got a small fields as well. Some of these little conditions races. Joe, what would be your strongest bet this weekend, please?
We'll get a Baden this weekend. Joking, Turpentine. In the 101 at Aintree. And this is the price that will go in running. Johnson's Blue for Mark Walford, 5-year-old, won the last 4, Hexham and Cartmel. However, it's not just a trip out for the owners, and it's not Paul Nicholls, it's not Nicky Henderson, it's not, I would say Philip Hobbs, but I wouldn't put that in the equation anymore. It's Mark Walford's Johnson's Blue in the first, and you probably get about 8-1. So good luck.
Love it. Johnson's Blue in the 101 and Brewing Up a Storm in the T45 at Aintree for Frankie. Another weekend looked at then here on the Punters Guide. And as always, please, if you're having a bet this weekend, gamble responsibly.